Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to another episode of Disney Assembled. I'm Troy,
And I'm Mimi.
and we are your happy little father daughter podcast, here to create joy and share our love for all things Disney.
Disney Assembled is sponsored by our patrons over on Patreon. If you would like to join them, check out patreon.com/DisneyAssembled.
Yeah, we'd really appreciate your consideration for that. Membership starts as little as $2 per month. And with that, you get access to all the exclusive patron-only content. We are recording this episode on Sunday, January 19th, 2025. But this is not the first time we've tried to record this episode. We tried it on Thursday, the 17th. Was it the 17th, 16th, 17th?
Yeah, it was the 16th. And I was in the studio, in the podcasting studio on campus, and something happened with your audio and it just was not working on my headphones.
Yeah.
It didn't go silent. It was going just glitchy. And I think it's because I used the computer that's in the podcasting studio to launch Riverside rather than to use my laptop. And so I know now to use my laptop, but unfortunately it is the weekend and the podcasting studio is closed and all the facilities are closed. And so we're in my room with my Blue Yeti, or my Blue Snowball, which is good. So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Taking a second shot at this episode.
Yeah, we got about 20 something minutes into it and it wasn't working out for us. So we are trying again today. And a couple of things about this episode. As Mimi just mentioned, we are using Riverside to connect remotely. Mimi is back up in college and I am at Disney Assembled headquarters. And so this is our first episode that we've tried with Riverside. We've tried StreamYard, we're trying Riverside. We're going to try out a few of these things to figure out which one we may want to invest in using permanently. And hopefully it comes through pretty good. Supposedly Riverside's sound quality is supposed to be a little bit better than StreamYard, but I think a lot of this depends on the Wi-Fi connection. And I think my connection is pretty good. I don't know how good the connection is in your dorm room, but it's
you're actually on my hotspot right now.
So we're on your hotspot.
All of my devices are on my hotspot.
We tried to be on, well, make sure you don't have too many on there because then it drains the signal, I think, because I was trying to get through on our hotspot here and it just kept cutting out. So we're just going to be on regular Wi-Fi. So hopefully it'll hang out. But this is going to be an exciting episode because, we have a couple of days coming up here. So for those of you who don't know, Disney Assembled headquarters is in Texas, in Southeast Texas, in around the Houston area. And Mimi is a little bit north of us up in Austin at college. And we are not equipped for winter weather. And Arendelle is a-coming to the Houston and the Gulf Coast area as we are speaking right now. So on Sunday, we're all preparing for some significant winter storm coming through. I know if you live in the northern part of the country of the United States, if you live in an area that gets heavy snow, you may be used to it. Your roads may be prepared for it. You may have plowing services and all this other stuff. We lived in Virginia. We used to have all that, right? The roads used to be prepared for snow and ice. There was, plows would come through and clear the streets. None of that exists here. And so schools are already canceled for Tuesday because in where we are right here, the most likely scenario is somewhere around 4 inches of snow and or ice, sleet, probably snow. Worst case scenario is up to 8 inches of snow, which would absolutely cripple any transportation around Disney Assembled headquarters. So we're preparing to lock down and enjoy ourselves for an extended weekend here. What about you up there? What are they saying up in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, so in Austin, they're predicting, I think I was reading 4 or 5 inches of snow. The schools around here have not canceled yet, which I think is really interesting because most of the schools in Houston have canceled for Tuesday. But the university sent us an email on Friday that was basically like, we know this weather is coming, we're monitoring it, and we'll get back to you when we know what we're going to do. which in my experience usually means the morning of, right? We're going to wake up on Tuesday at 8 a.m. and there's going to be a email that says, class canceled, go back to bed. And it's like, okay,
Right.
you couldn't have told us that yesterday. No,
Right.
but professors here have said that UT is usually pretty timely with weather reports and updates and cancellations and things because they don't want people to wake up at 8 a.m. They want people to sleep in. So they're reporting that the snow's not supposed to be as bad here. But what I do know about the city, having lived here for about 6 months, is that there is only one way to get everywhere. Like, there's only one way. Like, you either take Lamar or you take 71 or you take like I-10, but there's only one way to get anywhere. And if those places are inaccessible, the whole city is going to shut down. And I do think that we're going to be out of school for quite a while across the statewide, because Texas is just not equipped for winterizing anything, and we don't have snow plows, and we don't have like salt to salt the roads and melt the ice faster, and it's not supposed to get up to like a melting temperature again until like Thursday or Friday. So the snow could fall and stay here for a few days, which could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens around here. Certainly in the southern part, middle, central to southern Texas is not prepared for this. I know maybe up in northern Texas, closer to Oklahoma, where the weather gets like that a little bit, maybe they're a little bit better prepared, but we're not prepared for that here. But either way, we have a show coming out. We're going to try to get it out maybe tonight. I mean, I don't know if we can get the audio ready for our regular release at 7:00 tonight.
That's the plan. I just have
we'll try
to like put my computer down and do it. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this episode because, you know, we got partially through it a few days ago and I was liking what we were doing, but admittedly I was kind of zoned out because it was my first week of class and I was still I had a lot of things running through my mind about when am I going to do this, when am I going to do that, and just sort of adjusting to my routine again. But I'm excited to be here and fully present to go over our topic in its entirety, which
and
is, do you want me to?
Yeah.
Do you want me to share what the topic is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
I do. Yeah. This week we are looking at new things coming to Walt Disney World in 2025. So broken down by park, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and we're just going to look at what's coming and we're going to rate how excited we are on a scale of 1 to 10. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're going to go through an article actually written by Disney Parks blog. And like Mimi said, we'll go through each park about the things that are coming in 2025. And we are going to explain how excited we are for each of these on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being drop everything, jump on a plane, get there now. 1 being, I'll just stay home.
You know what's not coming?
So on 1 to 10.
You know what's not coming in 2025?
What?
A TikTok ban, apparently.
Well, it was banned for a few hours and then it's back.
Yeah, it was banned for 12 hours and now it's back. What's that about?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't want to get into it.
Talk.
I have thoughts.
I don't want to get into it.
I have thoughts, but they're not Disney related.
I also have thoughts. All I know is that my TikTok is back.
About here.
So I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the joke.
Well, winter storms are no joke. Winter storms are no joke around here, but you know it is a joke around here. The Disney Dad joke of the week. Yeah, I see you. I see you sitting there, pensively waiting. So, Mimi, are you ready for this week's Disney Dad joke of the week?
I am.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and Disney fans of all sorts, it is time for this week's Disney Dad joke of the week. Mimi, do you know why Disney World does not suffer from an outbreak of mosquitoes? You know why mosquitoes are not a problem at Disney World?
I do not know why.
That's because Disney World security breaks out a special SWAT team to take care of them. Get it? SWAT team to take care of the mosquitoes.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. That is this week's Disney Dad Joke of the Week. If you have a dad joke of the Disney variety that you would like us to use on the show, please send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or send to us as a direct message on all the socials at Disney Assembled, including, apparently, TikTok, as it's still there.
All right. Yes, please message us on TikTok.
Stick around to the end of the show. Stick around to the end of the show. Mimi will give you a trivia question a week too.
I'll explain
maybe
what's going on with the trivia question.
We'll explain. All right, let's jump into things. Disney Parks Blog wrote a blog post back in December, which is great because if you're going to be calling yourself Disney Parks Blog, you better start writing some blog posts. Yeah. So they posted one in early December where they went through each park at Walt Disney World and what was coming new in 2025. Sort of explained it. And I thought we would go through these today, kind of give our rating 1 to 10, what we think about them. And we would encourage, if you're listening or watching, if we do the video portion of this, play along. Let us know what you think of each of these things. All right. We're going to start off, Mimi, in your favorite park, Disney's Hollywood Studios. We all know that's your favorite. And
I hope
there
I
are
get
a couple
to work
things
there on my college program.
You never know. Yeah, let's get in first, and then we'll figure out where you're going to be, I guess.
Yeah,
but
no, literally.
There are two attractions, two things that Disney Parks Blog listed as coming in 2025 new to Disney's Hollywood Studios. And the first is Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After, right? So this is, I'll read a little description of it.
Wait, can I interrupt you really quick? Sit back from your microphone a little bit because you're kind of like blowing up my ears.
I'm blowing out your earballs.
Sit further away from your mic.
It's this new mic. How's this?
If you're going to speak louder, you need to sit farther away because you're kind of blowing my ears out and you're going to make it hard to edit.
Okay. I got it. How's this?
Okay, that's better.
Because I can't hear myself.
You're used to the old mic where you had to sit. Yeah, no, I know.
Right.
You're used to the old mic when you used to like have to sit super closely and talk super loudly. You don't have to do that anymore. Just talk regular. That's why we got you the nice mic.
Cool. Okay,
great. Continue.
Don't edit any of this out, by the way. Yeah, don't edit any of this out. Let's keep this all in. Keep it.
I wasn't planning on it. I just wanted you to know so that when you were looking at the MP3 file and it was like massive waves, you were going to be like, Mimi, why didn't you tell me that I was screaming? And I was like,
fair enough.
Okay,
all right.
Now I want to
hear
about
the description.
Villain Unfairly Ever After. Yes.
All right. This delightfully wicked live show will keep you on your toes when the most fiendish of foes, Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, and Maleficent, break through the glass to take center stage and captivate you with performances full of witty humor and mischievous charm. You may even get a glimpse of a few more of your favorites through the magical mirrors as dozens of the most infamous evildoers try to join in the delightfully diabolical fun. So this is going in where Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy was, because that's no longer operating.
Right.
And that was a low-key Disney assembled, underrated attraction.
Underrated favorite, right. So, first of all, great mic placement. You sound really good right where you are. Perfect.
I love it.
Because when you sat all the way back, you were a little bit too quiet. Now you're good. You can move up a little bit. Just if you want. Anyway, overall, my take on the villains thing, I know a lot of people are excited because it's villains. Yay, we love the villains, which is true. I do love the villains, and I do wish that we saw more of the villains in the parks, but we're about to get a villain's land in the Magic Kingdom, and so I personally don't see how this or why this villains attraction needs to exist in Hollywood Studios if they're already putting the villains in Magic Kingdom. I think it's weird to have two versions of the same world going on. Now, this is very different than, say, the Be Our Guest, like, Beauty and the Beast area of Magic Kingdom and the Be Our Guest, live performance, because those are, not that characters per se. It's more of a play telling you the story. It's, self-aware, right? Versus in this show, these are the villains telling you their story, but also they have their own land. So I don't see how that works with the story of the parks. My other take on this is that if they're going to redo, Rock and Roller Coaster and Lightning McQueen are all in the same area. So if they're going to put the Muppets in Rock and Roller Coaster, the Muppets are going to be right next to this villains show. I don't see how that makes sense thematically either as an area of the park. Why not put either Muppet Vision 3D in that Lightning McQueen space or a new Muppet show in that space and have it make a little bit more sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, just do a Muppets area. Move the Muppets area over there. Seriously, like, I don't super understand. Now, the catch to this is that they recently posted their concept art for this show, and it's very big, very loud, very phantasmic, and I think the production quality is going to be really good. And for that and that alone, just as a person who appreciates art and appreciates storytelling, it gets 4 points. But it loses 6 points for all of the things that I said about theme and story and placement. Yeah, so I'm at a 4 out of 10 excited.
Okay. So when we tried to record earlier this week, I mentioned that I like to start everyone at a 6 out of 10 and go from there. Because I figure I assume things will be a little bit better than average, right? So I'll start everyone at a 6 and go from there. So with this villains thing, I think the fact that they're using these villains gives them a couple of points in my mind. So right away, they get up to like a 7, maybe a 7.5 out of 10, just because it's a villains thing. And I appreciate that they're trying to do something with the villains. I think that this is not a permanent piece, right? Here's my bold prediction on all this. I agree with you. They're testing out to see kind of what works and what doesn't work. They're building this villains world over in the Magic Kingdom. I wouldn't be surprised that when the Villains Land opens, this attraction leaves this area of the park of Disney's Hollywood Studios. So I don't think it's a permanent fixture there. I think it's going to be there until the Villains Land is open, and it's going to help keep villains as part of everyone's. Yeah, it's not going to let them be forgotten, right? Because usually the villains come up at Halloween and only around Halloween as a big focus. I think this is going to keep them in focus year round until they open this villains world, right? This Villains Land. So my hope is that when the villains move out of this part of the park and of Hollywood Studios, that maybe behind the scenes what they're developing is a Muppet Vision 4D experience, like a new show that's like a sequel to Muppet Vision 3D, and they put it into that particular space. That's just a sort of a bold prediction for me.
Yeah, I think that's super valid.
I do. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, I do agree with you, though. I do agree. I can't keep moving back and forth, so it's going to be what it is. I think I do agree that it doesn't. The storytelling there is a little awkward. You have Tower of Terror, Muppets, and villains, and it's kind of all over the map. So I think you lose a little bit of credit there. So I started at a 6. I think I'm going to land at I'm going to stay at a 6 out of 10. I think it's better than average. I'm better than average excited for it. I'm curious to see what it is. But it's not something that if we go to Hollywood Studio, we'll go see it, but we're not going to go to Hollywood Studios because of it, I guess would be my point. All right. The next thing coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios in 2025 is the return, right, of a show that has been gone for a while, and that is The Little Mermaid, A Musical Adventure. So they've redone The Little Mermaid show right there in the sort of around the artist courtyard. Here's a little description of it. Grab your dingle hoppers and get ready because it's time to celebrate with The Little Mermaid, A Musical Adventure. This summer, we'll all be part of Ariel's world as the Walt Disney Animation Studios classic The Little Mermaid comes to life on stage. We're talking all new sets, a vibrant cast of puppets, live performers, and stunning visuals coming together to take us under the sea. So I want to point out something about the description that we didn't catch when we tried to record this episode earlier this week. There's a sentence in here that says, this summer we'll all be part of Ariel's world as the Walt Disney Animation Studios classic, The Little Mermaid, comes to life on stage. What that tells me is it's going to be classic Ariel, classic redhead Ariel,
Like original
as
Ariel.
the original recipe Ariel for the show. Your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts?
Yeah,
How
so
excited are you?
when we first recorded this show, I talked about how I was curious to see which Ariel they chose, or which iteration or depiction of Ariel they chose to go with for the live show. Now, I think they could just switch out Ariel actors. That's my take. And you can use both iterations of Ariel, because you do know that they have an A cast, a B cast, and understudies, and all these things, right? Um, so that was my original question when we were talking about this the first time. But the first time around, my excitement was out of 5, and I think it's still out of 5. I like the live stage shows, but I've got to say, the ones that just tell the story of the movie kind of fall flat for me, because I already know the story. And like The Little Mermaid is a Broadway musical, and the Broadway musical is very different than what they're doing at the park. And similarly to the Beauty and the Beast one, I like it. It's fine. I don't really need to do it all that much. But I know it's popular. I know the Frozen sing along is popular. So I think it just gets 5 points for being a piece of art that is coming back from the dead. And I'm excited to see it. But it's just probably not like the most awesome thing to ever come from to Hollywood studios.
Right. So here's my take. I gave the villains thing 6 out of 10. So that's kind of a barometer in this park about new things.
No, I want to go back. I didn't even think about that. I'm more excited for the villains thing than I am this. So move the villain thing up to 5 and move this down to 4.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I'm staying. Sorry. I didn't even think about that. Continue.
Well, I appreciate that. I gave the villains a 6. I think this is going to be a really good show. I think was supposed to have opened already. It hasn't opened. They're pushing it to this summer. I really think it's going to be really good. So my rating has nothing to do with what I think the quality is. It's all about my excitement for it being in the park. I am not as excited for this as I am to see what's going to go on in this villain show, because that's brand new. So if I gave that a 6, I'm going to stick with a 5 here, because I think it's going to be a good quality show. I'm just not as excited for it as I am the villains. So I can't give it the same rating, but I'm going to give it a slightly, just one less. So I'm going to go with a 5 out of 10 for The Little Mermaid. Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
The next park in the article is Epcot, which stands for the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow, for those of you who don't know that. And the first new item coming to Epcot described as the Spaceship Earth Lounge. Here's a little description for you. Words are tough. It's getting cold and my brain is freezing. Paying tribute to the most beautiful Epcot icon, our favorite geodesic sphere will be home to a whole new experience in late spring, welcoming an elevated lounge to the list of things that make it absolutely stunning. This elegant lounge, honoring the intertwined history of Spaceship Earth and Epcot itself, is set to celebrate the legacy of the icon's past while admiring its future. All right. Spaceship Earth Lounge. Now, Spaceship Earth was supposed to go down for refurbishment a couple years ago. COVID hit. None of that happened. There's been no announcement about Spaceship Earth ever going down for refurbishment or refreshing anytime soon. But yet, there is a lounge, and we will be getting a lounge. Mimi, you're going to Epcot. How excited are you for this?
I'm going to start with as I've been doing, I'm going to start with my thoughts and then give my rating. You kind of touched on what I was going to talk about. I like the lounges. I think as a concept, they're really cool. I think if they're themed correctly, they can be really awesome spaces to hang out. And I think having a place where people and kids can just come and sit and take a break in the AC, that's not the Connections Cafe, which is a very large scale service place. I think is a really good idea. And I like that Disney is sort of moving in this direction to sort of create these more themed lounges and places to be where there's some dead space. However, I think I would rather them put time and money into the refurbishment of Spaceship Earth in of itself, because I really love that attraction. A lot of people do. It's a classic. It's the weenie for Epcot, and I think that it really does need some love. Like the animatronics, some of them are just looking bad, like, and they're run down. And when the Pirates animatronics were sort of crashing out a little bit, everyone was all up in arms and they were so quick to refurbish Pirates and bring in a new character and new costumes and redo it and make it look nice and pretty again. And that love has not been extended to Spaceship Earth when I really do think that that attraction deserves it. So I'm excited for the lounge. I think it could be really fun. I think it could be a really good place to watch the fireworks if your kiddos don't like the noise, and, you know, a snack and a drink. And, you know, I think that that area of the park, the front part of the park, needs a space like that to just like grab a snack, because there really isn't anything to eat until you get deep into that park. But I wish that the resources allocated for this were directed more onto the actual attraction rather than the lounge. So yeah, I think I'm going to give it probably also a 4 out of 10 excitement. I'm always excited to try new things, so that's always a few points there. And who knows, like it could be like freaking awesome. Like it could be incredible, like the coolest lounge that has ever existed ever. I mean, who knows? But based on what I do know, yeah, 4.
Okay, that's fair. So here's my take. I don't mind a lounge. There's another lounge on our list later that I'm more excited for. We're focusing on Epcot right now, and there's another attraction coming up on our Epcot list that I'm more excited for. So I start with a 6. There's going to be food, there's going to be drink, there's going to be a menu for this lounge. If the menu items are named after things on the attraction, like let's say there is a drink called Thank the Phoenicians, and the drink's name has like all the letters of the alphabet in it, or something like that. If the names of the food and drink options are riffs on parts of the attraction, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. If not, I'm going to knock it back to like a 5 out of 10. So I started a 6, and to me, it's all going to be based on the menu. If the menu has interesting names to the food and drink that harken back to the ride, and they do something interesting like that, I'm going to give it an extra point. If not, I'm going to take a point away. I'm making it a 5 out of 10. And that's where I am on the Spaceship Earth lounge.
Okay.
All right. Next one. Test Track, presented by General Motors. Did you know Test Track has been down for a while? It's been under refurbishment.
It has.
So here you go. It's coming back. Get ready to feel the thrill of the open road, the wind in your hair, and nothing but adventure ahead. Test Track, presented by General Motors, is making its return late summer 2025. While Disney Imagineering has been working with General Motors on an all-new storyline, you'll want to be all buckled in for an adventure. You might even see cars returning to the track for testing at Test Track with their new look early in the year. Now, this says a lot. It says, one, the cars are going to be refurbished, brand new cars.
The cars are going to be refurbished, yes.
New stories, new adventure.
Yeah. New sponsor.
What do you think?
New
General
sponsor.
Motors. I think General Motors,
Chevrolet.
was it? Oh, it was Chevy. Well, Chevy used to be part of General Motors, but sponsored by General Motors.
I think I'm quite excited for the new Test Track. I think every iteration of Test Track has been better than the one before it. I know a lot of people missed Crash Test Dummy when Test Track 2.0 released, but I think this one is just going to be so fun. With the technology that we all know that they now have to create these experiences, I think it's going to be way more immersive than it was before. Test Track 2.0, as I knew it, had some set pieces, and the truck would come out at you, and they used some really cool lighting and, whatever. They did a lot of like really cool things in that area, in that space and in that attraction. But using the technology that we have from Flight of Passage or Guardians could really make a very, very cool actual ride experience. And I'm excited to see what the new storyline is altogether. But what I'm the most excited about is the refurbishment of the cars. I'm very excited. I haven't really talked about this a whole lot on the show, but ride vehicles really, to me, like can really change your experience. I like Big Thunder Mountain, but the train cars make me so anxious because the bars don't go all the way down. I don't like it. It's not an individual lap bar. It stresses me out. The Test Track cars have always been kind of bumpy and jerky, and the blue's very 80s, right? And so I'm very, very excited for Test Track 3.0. I think I'm gonna have to give it probably an 8 out of 10. Because Test Track's not my favorite attraction in the whole world. So that I think loses its points, but an 8 out of 10 for sure for Test Track.
Like I said, I start everyone at a 6, and here's what I heard. New adventure, new story, new cars. 3 new things. That's 3 points. I'm not going to give it a 9 out of 10. I'm not going to book a trip. But I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I like Test Track. I'm excited to see what they've done with it. And I think it's going to be good that Epcot continues to evolve. I don't know how much more Epcot's going to be doing. Epcot's just finishing up a big to-do, right?
Right.
But I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. I'm actually pretty excited to see the new cars, the new story, the new adventure at Test Track. So
yeah,
what I
love about
getting
Test
a
Track,
facelift.
Yeah. What I love about Test Track is that it changes with the times, similarly to how cars actually do. Our cars in society have changed drastically since they were first released in the 40s, and Test Track has really, I think, sort of reflected that in its journey in the park. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So yeah.
Absolutely. Good. All right, we're going to leave Epcot now. We're going to head over to the Magic Kingdom. The original. Well, it's not the original. Yeah. Is it the original? The original park at Walt Disney World, the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things coming to the Magic Kingdom brand new in 2025. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. The first one is Disney Starlight. Dream the night away. So here's a description. It's time for a new fabulous nighttime parade. Disney Starlight, Dream the Night Away, is coming to light up your summer 2025. This new evening spectacle, not spectacular, it's a new evening spectacle. It combines nostalgic Disney storytelling and glowing innovation, continuing the legacy of dazzling nighttime entertainment that holds a special place in the hearts of so many. All right. Here's some fan favorite classics that will be part of the parade. Peter Pan, Encanto, Frozen, Moana, and more. The Blue Fairy from the classic tale Pinocchio will weave the transformative light of starlight through each float and every costume in the parade, illuminating the stories in a vibrant constellation of wonder, hope, and imagination. So, a nighttime spectacle parade. Disney World, the Magic Kingdom, has not had one of these in quite some time. What do you think?
Yeah.
How excited are you?
I think people love the Main Street Electrical Parade, which is a nighttime parade. And I think that Disney has been in the market for this for quite a while. It is kind of a funny drop off how between the park opening at 7 and 3 p.m., there are a million things that go on. They do the cavalcades, and they do the castle show, and they do the Festival of Fantasy parade. But then after 3 o'clock, there's nothing until the fireworks. And while I think that that's okay, there's already so much to do there. Those shows are huge crowd pullers, huge crowd pullers. Like the parade is the best time to go on any attraction because everyone's just watching the parade. And so I think from a business point of view, this is a fantastic move. You can get people to really move around during the fireworks, or I'm sorry, during the evening time. And I think it keeps people from camping out for the fireworks starting at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which I know annoys Disney because cast members tell you to stop doing it. Um, I also just think it's fun. I like the parades, so I will say that I will probably watch it at least once. So I would probably give it maybe a 7 out of 10. Um, I think it has the potential to be really good, and the only thing that's sort of docking its points is that it's not an actual like attraction. You know what I'm saying? And parades can be difficult to watch if you got a tall guy standing in front of you. But I'm excited. I like the nighttime parades.
Start of the 6th, and I go from there. Nighttime parade at Walt Disney World, you're getting a bonus point because Walt Disney World could use a nighttime parade, and I think it's going to look absolutely stunning. I think it's going to be a beautiful looking parade.
And I think they're going to light up Main Street.
Well, the last time I saw a parade at night was during the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Boo-to-You parade, and I love the nighttime parade. So I think this is going to get an extra bonus point from that. So that takes it up to like a 7 for me right away. Of course, the weather, if it rains, I don't know, they'll do it, but you can't really judge your excitement for this based on weather potentially happening. So I'm pretty excited for this. I think this is going to be a really cool addition. It's going to keep people in the park after hours to see this parade, which is going to be really, really cool. I'm going to stick with a 7, though. I think I'm going to stick with a 7 on this one. I'm excited for it. If we go to Disney World this year, I definitely want to see it, right? But I'm not going to pack my bags right now and book a trip. So 7 out of 10, I think is good for me. I'm pretty excited. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I'm not at 8, but 7 feels a little low. So I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10 on the, what is it? The Starlight? I forgot the name of it. Disney Starlight, Dream the Night Away.
Yeah.
Right? Dream the night away. What else are you going to do during the night? If you're asleep, you're dreaming the night away. So I guess the parade will put you to sleep. All right. Let's hope not. The next thing coming in 2025 at Walt Disney World is the Pirates of the Caribbean inspired tavern. Now, that's how it is described and titled in this article. As far as I know, there's no official title yet to this tavern, which I count as kind of like a lounge. I said there would be another lounge. I'm using this as sort of the other lounge, right? The Pirates of the Caribbean inspired tavern. Now, I know that area has been there's been construction walls and they've been working on it and so forth. But let's read what Disney Parks Blog said about it. "'Tis time to prepare yourselves for the swashbuckling world of adventure, as all bandits and buccaneers are invited to join the jolly crew at a new Pirates of the Caribbean inspired tavern making landfall in Adventureland in late 2025. This yonder lounge will welcome pirates of all ages with a seaworthy selection of grogs and grub. And strike me colors, there may be more than a few mysterious and magical surprises in store." All right. It's for all ages. All right, so kids will be welcome. I would imagine there will be non-alcoholic as well as alcoholic beverages available in the tavern.
Oh, definitely.
I originally had hoped that this would be in a pirate's version of like Oga's Cantina. I'm not sure what direction they're going with it. There's some concept art that would suggest that there is some interactive possibility. But Mimi, what do you think? How excited are you for the Pirates of the Caribbean inspired tavern?
I think this is different than the Spaceship Earth lounge because that's described as a lounge. This is described as a tavern, which is like a cantina or a bar. And maybe that's just for the theming, like with the pirates thing, but I think that's a very intentional choice. And when I imagine this existing in real life, the things that I would hope to see are something similar to Oga's, except slightly different. I think Oga's fails in the idea that you have to have a reservation. I obviously know that's for like crowd control and whatnot, but I think if they had just made it bigger and let it be a tavern similar to what this is, I think that that would have been just as fine. You know what I'm saying? I think it's not going to mimic a bar as much as I would want it to, because I think a bar would really fit in with the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. But they're not going to put a bar in the middle of Walt Disney World. They're not going to do that, because that creates an aura of not kid friendly. What I would want to see the most out of this, though, is character interaction. And where I think Oga's really falls off, aside from the reservations and all of that, is that there aren't any characters. And I know that they need to have cast members, like, you know, actually pouring drinks, and they've got the animatronic robots. But I think if every so often someone in character were to walk in, I think it would really change the immersion of it all. And I think if they have pirate actors or even Jack Sparrow, not make it character dining, but do that very casual character interaction, like what they do in Disneyland, where it's like, hey, this is not meet and greet autograph time, but rather me engaging with you as an audience in this tavern, in my town, by my ride, right? I think that would really do this wonders. And if they can do that, if they can create that kind of an interactive, character based experience, I think I would have to give it like a 7. I think that would be really, really, really cool if it can have that level of inclusion.
I think that's a good point. And I think if it's interactive and if there are character interactions like what you described, I think that would elevate the experience without a doubt. I think this is going to be lots of fun, believe it or not. And I think this is an area of the park that they like to, draw a little attention to. I mean, Pirates and Jungle Cruise are two classic attractions. They're both over there. But I think they're on to something here. I think this is, they're evolving Adventureland. They're trying to keep it fresh. They're trying to keep it from getting too stale. Because, I mean, when was the last time something brand new was done in Adventureland? I mean, it's been a while, right? So this is something new. It's something fresh, something that I think I'm looking forward to. So in terms of my excitement, look, I gave the parade a 7.5. I'm just as excited for this tavern as I am for this parade. I mean, I enjoy a great parade as everyone, but as much as the next person. But I really think this tavern is going to be an interesting addition, to that area. I think you made a good point about reservations. I don't know if they're going to need reservations to get in here, or if this is something you get to walk through when you finish your attraction, the pirate ride, because remember, it's essentially right in that space as you're coming out. You go through the gift shop and all that stuff. So
right.
I'm going to stick with a 7.5. I'm going to give it the same rating I gave the parade, because I'm as excited for this as I am for the parade. I don't know if I'm more excited for this than I am the parade, but I don't know. I couldn't give it a lower number than the parade. I'm not sure I would give it an 8. Well, what the heck? I'll give it an 8. I'm a little bit more excited for the tavern than the parade. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Again, not booking a trip for it, but when we go, it's going to be on my list of things that I'm definitely going to want to do while we're there.
Right.
Fair enough. All right, we have one more part to get to. This episode, we're already like 43 minutes in, so it's a bit longer than usual. But we have Animal Kingdom Park to go through. Yeah, Animal Kingdom Park to go through. And really, there's only one new thing that they've listed here, but they mentioned sort of the last chance thing, right? So which one do you want to do? Do you want to do the new thing, or do you want to do the last chance thing first?
Just do the new thing, because I'm sure the last chance thing will probably come up when we talk about this.
Right. So maybe we mix the two together, right? So the new thing is Zootopia Better Together, right? Zootopia Better Together. In addition to all this great news, I have another gift for you. Oh, okay, this is from Disney Parks blog. I'm trying to get to the point. But okay, hold on to your hats and your tails, feathers, or ears, because I want to remind you about the all-new 4D production coming to the Tree of Life Theater in winter 2025, Zootopia, Better Together. You want to herd the whole family together to join Judy Hopps, Nick Wilde, and more for a new wild adventure that will make you want to clap your hands. So the Tree of Life, the It's Tough to Be a Bug show is leaving. Zootopia Better Together is coming winter of 2025 to the Animal Kingdom. Mimi, what are your thoughts?
I think Animal Kingdom is about to go through a serious revival, and I'm mixed feelings about it. I would love to see it flourish because I see that park as having so much potential. I think that park honestly has more potential than like any of the other ones. Like so much can be done within the realm of Animal Kingdom, but I think it's doing what Hollywood Studios is doing and essentially selling out to IPs. And I think that is very upsetting and sort of creates this interesting juxtaposition and irony of we need to be natural and connect with the earth and be real and original, but also buy my merchandise that's very branded and intentional, right? I think that this Zootopia thing, although Bugs Life is also an IP, it's sort of been engulfed into Animal Kingdom as like its own thing. Like It's Tough to Be a Bug is like an Animal Kingdom thing, less so than a Bugs Life thing. And I think that the Zootopia thing is gonna add a layer of like commercialism to it. But the Animal Kingdom overhaul could be a complete episode in of itself. As for the actual show, I think it's gonna be really cute. I've never put myself through It's Tough to Be a Bug, so I don't know how they do the show. Like I don't know if it's like a screen or like a movie. But I hope that this show, or if it's more like Muppet Vision 3D, where it has the screen and some like real
Well, it's 4D.
characters.
It's everything. It's 3-dimensional. Plus, you feel things and you get
Right.
things
So
as a sensory piece. Yeah.
I think if there can be like some actual, like if you actually see Judy Hopps or actually see Nick Wilde in that animatronic form or in that 3D form, it could be really cool. But if it's just a movie with a chair that shakes, I think it's going to fall flat. All of this is to say, I've talked a lot about this. I I like Zootopia. It's an obvious choice for Animal Kingdom, and I like that they chose to put Zootopia into Animal Kingdom in such a minute way rather than Zootopia Land. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, overall, probably maybe a 6. I'm not gonna like book a trip and run out and go see it, but I think it's gonna be cute, and I think it's gonna complement the Nemo show well, and I think it's gonna revitalize that part of the park, and I think anything new to Animal Kingdom is a good move.
Right. I think a lot of people still don't realize that the Tree of Life is a theater, that there's an actual attraction in the Tree of Life, and finding your way to it is not very easy. The signage and the directions not really there. So I'm hoping that when they put this new show in there, that it makes it more obvious that there's an actual show to be seen down there. Zootopia 2 is a movie they're working on. They're investing in Zootopia. It is an IP that's made good money. The first movie was pretty good. I enjoyed it much better than I thought it would. It's one that I was surprisingly happy with. I think this show is going to be fine. Again, I've never had much of an interest in seeing the shows in the Tree of Life. I was never interested in It's Tough to Be a Bug. I will be more interested in this than that, right? So if you start at a 6, I'm still at a 6. I'm not losing points because of that. And I think Animal Kingdom, like you said, I think it's going through a piece here, right? I mean, Pandora is a popular place. Everest is still very popular. This will be a popular addition because this is more modern. More the kids and families will be familiar with this than with A Bug's Life. And then, of course, the one we didn't get to it, I guess we'll meld into this conversation, is sort of the whole redoing of the dinosaur area. It's your last chance this year to ride Dinosaur before Dinosaur goes down, before that whole dinosaur area becomes tropical America's land. And of course, I'm very excited about that. I would say for that, I'm like I would say almost a 9 out of 10. Excited for the whole
Yeah.
Tropical Americas redo, because I think that's going to be really, really nice with the Indiana Jones thing and the Encanto Casita and all the other stuff going over there. I think that's going to be a tremendous upgrade to that part of Animal Kingdom. So I'm going to put the two things together, right? So I'm going to give you a rating, and you can redo your rating on this. I'm going to do a rating based on both the Tropical Americas. Well, I don't want to add that in because that's not coming in 2025, so that's not really fair. So I would say just the only rating we have to give on this is for the Zootopia, the Zootopia Better Together show. For that, I'm going to keep it at a 6. I'm a 6 out of 10. It doesn't really move the needle for me at all, but I think it's better than what was there, because what was there gets like a 2 out of 10 for excitement from me. So I'm going to keep it at a 6.
Right. No, exactly. So yeah.
All right. That's
that
it. That's it. We went through all the parks,
coming.
all the new stuff coming in 2025. Mimi, our friends out there that are listening, I'm sure they have opinions and thoughts. How could they possibly let us know?
Yes, of course. So you guys can let us know your thoughts, comments, opinions, questions, everything that we may or may not want to know about what is happening with the Disney parks in 2025. Please feel free to send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, again, X, Blue Sky, and Threads, all at Disney Assembled. But when you send that message, make sure you include your answer to this week's Disney trivia question, which is, how many children do Bambi and Faline have? So if you know how many kids Bambi has, let us know. Again, disneyassembled@gmail.com or at Disney Assembled on pretty much every social media. But if you guys want to support the show further, the link to our Public, Patreon, Buy Us a Dole Whip, all that other awesome stuff is on the website, disneyassembled.com. Make sure to go check it out.
Yeah, please do. We'd appreciate your consideration there. We also have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on the YouTube. We may have this video on our YouTube channel at some point, and maybe you'd like to see the faces we were making while we were giving our ratings, because sometimes the eyes are the window to the soul, right? And if you're listening to us, you can't see us through our eyes, right? So we have a YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed there, you should do so. We'd really appreciate that. And of course, the best thing you can do to help the show, besides sharing it with your friends and telling them about it, is by going on your podcast player of choice, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Good Pods, and giving us that rating. If you have the ability to give us a 5-star rating, we'd appreciate it. If you have the ability to give us a review, we'd appreciate the review, because the review goes a long way in helping people find the show. And the more people who listen, the more joy we get to create. And as we said in the beginning of the show, that is why we do this, to create more joy in the world. All right. Mimi, good show. We got it in before the winter apocalypse comes through here at Disney Assembled headquarters. All right, Mimi, I want you to stay warm and stay safe up there where you are. We're going to do the same thing here. How about a virtual high five for those of you watching the video?
Virtual high five.
Virtual high five. Oop. All right, good job.
I think we have a delay.
Good. I think we have a delay. I think we got it. It's all right. It's all good. All right.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Disney fans of all sorts, we hope this episode brought a smile to your face, some extra joy to your day, and that very, very important sprinkle of pixie dust to your week. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, see you real soon.
See you real soon.